So Antonio, just what is it like, that big fight coming up, and it's right here at Hard Rock Live, which you know well.
Yeah.
So it's like with PFL and being able to be a part of this whole thing. So many American top team fighters on this show as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys, it's gonna be here on our backyard. I have a lot of good memories over there. All the fights that I had was all win. A good win, the last one, was for the bell. So it's pretty cool, pretty excited for that.
How's training been going for you, and just what are your thoughts about your fight? Because it's a different type of fight, because the other time it was championship fight, and now you're part of this big card.
Yes, I was always training. I haven't stopped training because you know how it is, how's the season, you always like fighting and fighting. You keep the rhythm. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it for the playoffs. I got the 5th place. So in case somebody got hurt or whatever, I will jump in. But anyways, just gonna focus on my next opponent, on the next fight, and try to do the best I can to get this win.
How do you feel about, because you have achieved the top, you've achieved championship, and this time you just missed making the playoffs. So
Yeah.
for you, how did you look at this season and how you did and how you felt about how you fought?
It's sad not being in the playoffs, but it is what it is. It's the sport. I'd love to be there fighting, one more time for this goal, but it's part of the sport. Sometimes it doesn't happen. You just gotta accept it and look forward to the next.
And I was going to say, because you have the big fight coming up on the main card here, or on the big card that's coming to Hard Rock Live, but I'm also curious about 2025. Or do you think that you'll be part of the season next year?
Yes, we got a contract, so we're gonna make it.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Antonio, so I have to know, how did the nickname Shoeface?
Well, the nickname was when I was like 16 or 17. I got a coach who liked to put like nicknames in everybody. He got a big chin, and I call him like, looks like Egypt, like the chin. Look like your face look like a shoe, and everybody started calling me a shoe face, and that's the history behind it, I hate it, so I just hate it, so that's why they didn't stop calling me this, and here we are. Yes.
You have to own it, right?
Yeah.
One more question for you. When you came over to PFL from the UFC, you had previously been a middleweight. Do you still consider yourself a natural middleweight like some of these other guys in the PFL, like Josh and Johnny? Or do you think that 205 is the right weight class for you?
I would say my right class would be like in between. I'm not a big lightweight, but I'm too big for the middleweight. I used to lose a lot of weight, so I used to walk around like 220, 217, depend, So it's pretty hard for me to make 185, but maybe I'm small for 205. But in this case, it's pretty good because I don't have to lose a lot of weight, because you're probably gonna fight like 4 times a year. I don't know, depending how you're going on the season. So it's not good to be that heavy, on the season.
Absolutely. Do you feel like, as someone who has gone through the full playoff season, do you feel like it is difficult to manage injuries and manage your health as a fighter, knowing that you're going to fight so many times in 1 year?
Yes, it's hard to keep this rhythm, always training and fighting. You know how it is, always have some injuries in between. It's pretty hard to deal with because you want to perform, but sometimes your body don't let you do the best. But this happens to everybody, You never get inside 100%. I never get inside the cage 100%. I always have something on my toe, whatever, but we always go there as a warrior and do our best, and that's it.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Antonio, how does your championship pedigree and experience help you coming into this fight?
I think the experience is very important on every sport, especially on MMA, because you're probably gonna face a lot of different situations, in every fight. So it's good to face, let's say, when you're losing the fight and you gotta go for it, do your best, you're 100%, and you're tired and you're bleeding. you know, so this is very important. And you gotta face the losses, you know, it's good when you celebrate the win. I think all this counts, you know, when you get into the cage.
Now, the MMA landscape now has changed with PFL and the UFC and Bellator. Like, what are your thoughts on being in such a diverse era of like MMA?
You mean like
What are your thoughts on the competition between all the other?
like
the PFL?
UFC,
Yeah.
PFL, and
Yeah.
Bellator? Yeah. I think this is good for us, you know, as many as like organizations. It's good for us because we have like options, you know. If you wanna fight on UFC, you're gonna see what they're gonna like, what they want to give you, or the PFL or Bellator, whatever. Now the PFL and Bellator are together. But it's good to have like more organizations. You know, I think this is good for every athlete.
Now, what is your message to your fans heading into this event?
Don't miss out. I think it's gonna be great. You know, I know how's the arena. I don't know. I have something special because I live here in Florida, so I love this place, and it's pretty cool to fight with like the crown with you. Thanks.
Antonio, so you've been fighting for 10 years now.
Yeah, getting old, man.
Wow. So tell me, what is the highlight of your 10-year career so far?
Man, I have a lot of great experience. You know, I learned a lot during this period. I won the Ultimate Fighter in Brazil, then I got into the UFC. I had 3 fights when I got into the Ultimate Fighter. You know, I was so young, no experience at all. You know, I was training like for just a year, but everything worked out, and I get the title. I fought as a 205, then I go to the middleweight, then I understand how to lose weight. I fought with a lot of like great guys. Some guys we train together now. And I passed through a lot of like surgeries and stuff that kind of mess up with my body and my head. I had some losses, then I get into the PFL, and I could like, how do I say, like when you, sorry, my English is terrible.
Improve or progress?
Not just progress, but like when you're in a bad moment and you can't, and you like
Overcome?
overcome, you know what I mean? Getting the belt on the PFL, a good amount of money, so that was pretty like good moment on my life.
Yeah, and in the next 2 years, where do you see yourself?
Next 2 years, well, I have more fights forward. I wanna be in the season next year, and I don't know, man. I don't know how it's going to be. I love fighting. I think I still gonna fight for at least like 3-4 years. I don't know. Let's see how we're gonna feel. But I can say that I miss Brazil so much. I miss my family and friends, so I'm probably gonna back there and do other stuff.
Yeah, and your upcoming fight, what's the game plan with you?
Beat him up? No, we always have to mix it up, you know. He's an MMA fighter, me too. He knows I'm a Jiu-Jitsu world champion. I always want to take the fight to the ground, you know. It's my best for sure. But you have to mix it up, you know, make things present itself. Don't be, how do I say, readable, you know. So I think this is very important for every like MMA athlete.
Thank you so much. Wish you luck.
Thanks.
Antonio, Josh, and Impa. I mean, who better to ask than you? What are your thoughts of this fight, the rematch, and your thoughts of coming up and training with Josh and Impa?
I hope it's gonna be different than the last fight. You know, it was a 5-round fight. Josh improved it a lot. You know, I can tell that. You can see in the fights. I even thought he won the last fight. Was pretty close, but I think he won. Maybe because, you know, as a friend, I watch it like. You know, but I think he improved it a lot. You know, he's a different athlete, and I think he got everything to get this win and go to the final.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Josh.